Welcome back to Royals Corner, where we pull back the velvet curtain on the world's most fascinating royal family. I'm your host, and today, we're diving deep into something the palace PR machine desperately wants to keep hidden. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell because we bring you the real stories behind the carefully crafted headlines. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Picture this, it's 2 a.m. at Buckingham Palace. While the world sleeps, urgent phone calls are being made. Advisors are summoned, crisis meetings convene in shadowed corridors where tourists will walk just hours later, completely oblivious to the warfare that just took place. Because here's what they don't tell you. Behind those golden gates and perfectly orchestrated balcony waves, the British monarchy isn't just surviving, it's at war with itself. And I'm not talking about the drama you see splashed across tabloid covers. No, this runs far deeper. We're talking about power struggles that could reshape the crown forever, silent battles fought with calculated leaks, strategic absences, and carefully worded statements that say everything while revealing nothing. Today, we're exposing the truth behind palace doors. And I promise you, it's far more dramatic than any Netflix series could ever portray. Let's start with what you already know, or think you know. The monarchy has faced its fair share of public drama. But what if I told you that every public scandal, every leaked story, every anonymous source, is actually a carefully placed chess piece in a much larger game? The British monarchy isn't just an institution, it's a billion-dollar empire with influence that extends into politics, real estate, and international diplomacy. And where there's power, there's always someone fighting to claim it, protect it, or redistribute it. Right now, there are essentially three power centers within the royal family, and they're all pulling in different directions. You have the king's vision for a streamlined monarchy. You have the younger generation pushing for modernization and relevance. And you have the old guard, those courtiers and advisors who've served for decades, desperately trying to maintain tradition and control. These aren't just philosophical differences. These are fundamental disagreements about the monarchy's very survival. We've all heard the phrase, the heir and the spare, but that dynamic has evolved into something far more complex. The relationship between William and his father isn't the straightforward succession story the palace wants you to believe. Sources close to the family, and yes, these leaks are intentional, suggest that William is increasingly frustrated with the pace of change. He sees a monarchy that needs to evolve rapidly to remain relevant to younger generations, while the current reign favors a more cautious, traditional approach. This isn't just a father-son disagreement. This is a battle over the monarchy's future direction, and both sides are recruiting allies. Catherine, the Princess of Wales, has become a strategic powerhouse in her own right. Her public approval ratings consistently outshine other royals, and she knows it. Behind closed doors, she's reportedly advocating for a more active role in shaping policy and public engagement. But here's the kicker. Every time she gains influence, it threatens the carefully balanced power structure that's existed for generations. Then there's the Andrew situation, the scandal that refuses to die. But it's not just about one disgraced royal. It's about what his continued presence represents, the monarchy's inability to decisively deal with its most toxic elements. Every time Andrew appears at a family event, every photograph of him at church with the family, it sends a message. And that message is being weaponized in the internal power struggles. Reformists point to him as evidence that the old guard is out of touch. Traditionalists argue that family loyalty must supersede public opinion. The result? A stalemate that damages everyone involved and provides ammunition for those who question whether the monarchy deserves its position at all. Here's where it gets truly fascinating. The modern royal power struggle isn't fought with swords or declarations. It's fought with leaks, counter-leaks, and carefully timed revelations. Remember that bombshell biography that came out? Or that shocking interview where a royal spoke candidly? These aren't accidents. These are strategic strikes in an ongoing information war. Each faction within the palace has its preferred journalists, its reliable outlets, its ways of getting stories into the public domain. When you see a palace source quoted in a newspaper, ask yourself, which palace source? Whose interests does this story serve? The genius, and the danger, of this approach is that it's all deniable. The palace can officially deplore leaks while unofficially orchestrating them. It's a game of shadows, and the British public is both the audience and the prize. Let's talk about something the royals really don't want discussed: money. The sovereign grant, the Duchy of Cornwall, the Duchy of Lancaster, these aren't just quaint historical arrangements. They're massive financial engines worth billions. And guess what? There are very real disagreements about how this wealth should be managed, distributed, and publicly justified. The push for a slimmed-down monarchy isn't just about fewer people on the balcony. It's about fewer people with access to royal funding, property, and privilege. Every time someone is edged out of official duties, it's not just ceremonial. It's financial. It's about who gets security, who gets a residence, who gets an income. These decisions create winners and losers don't go quite. Here's a question that should keep the palace up at night. What happens when the person next in line doesn't want the job? We've seen it before. Edward VIII chose love over duty. But imagine a future where an heir looks at the impossible demands, the constant scrutiny, the loss of privacy, and says, "No thanks." It sounds dramatic, but behind closed doors, this is a very real concern. The modern royals, especially the younger generation, have watched what the crown does to people. They've seen marriages crumble, privacy evaporate, and mental health suffer. The palace's solution: start training the next generation earlier, make the role more appealing, modernize the image. But here's the problem: every modernizing step alienates traditionalists. Every concession to privacy raises questions about relevance. It's a no-win scenario, and it's creating internal tensions that grow daily. And we haven't even touched on the international dimension. The Commonwealth, that collection of nations still tied to the British crown, is increasingly questioning why. Every time a Commonwealth nation debates becoming a republic, it's not just a foreign policy issue. It's a direct challenge to the monarchy's global relevance. And internal palace factions have very different views on how to respond. Some argue for aggressive engagement, increased royal tours, and charm offensives. Others suggest a graceful retreat, accepting that the empire's sun has truly set. These aren't just strategic differences, they're competing visions of what the monarchy is even for. I'd be remiss not to mention the elephant in the room, or rather, the former royals in California. The departure of Harry and Meghan didn't end the conflict, it intensified it. Because their very existence outside the royal system poses a question the palace can't afford. Do you really need the institution, or can you be royal adjacent and build your own empire? Every success they have in America is viewed by some in the palace as a threat. Every business deal, every interview, every appearance raises the stakes in the ongoing battle over narrative control. So where does this leave us? The British monarchy, that supposedly stable, timeless institution, is anything but stable. It's a pressure cooker of competing ambitions, conflicting visions, and silent warfare. The public sees the pageantry. We see the crowns, the castles, the ceremonies. But behind those palace doors, a very real battle is being waged for the soul and future of the crown. And here's the most important part: this matters beyond gossip. The monarchy sits at the intersection of politics, culture, and national identity. How these internal battles resolve will shape not just the royal family, but Britain itself. The question isn't whether there are power struggles within the palace. The question is, which side will win, and what will victory even look like? That's all for today on Royals Corner. If this opened your eyes to what's really happening behind those palace walls, give this video a thumbs up. And definitely subscribe, because we're just getting started uncovering the truth about the world's most secretive family. Drop a comment below. Do you think the monarchy can survive these internal wars? Or are we watching the beginning of the end? I'll see you in the next one, where we dive even deeper into the royal secrets they don't want you to know. Until then, keep questioning what you see. Because in the world of royals, nothing is ever quite what it seems.